Hey guys, it's Shaft of the Plenty Casting Crew. Welcome to another Let's Play. We're going to be checking out today the Banner Saga, or as I like to call it, Baga. Okay, so I saw Day 9 play this for a little bit on one of his Day 9 day offs. Really liked it, kind of got an idea of the game from that. I did play through it just a little bit, check the settings. But for the most part, completely unexperienced. We're going to go through this at hard level. So this could be interesting. There will be retries, I'm sure. Actually, I'm not even sure that's possible, but whatever. Restart game. Yes. The story in the Banner Saga changes based on the choices you make. You will occasionally switch between lead characters, witnessing the story unfold from different perspectives. The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survived through a tenuous alliance, driving black destroyers called Dredge deep into the northern wastes. Now is an era of growth and trade. Life goes on. Only one thing has stopped. The sun. Dun dun dun! Creepy.
Að sjá dreggjan á ferli meðan vor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
Scary. Loading! Warning, my computer's a piece of shit. Alright, so here's the tutorial. Click the check mark to continue. Okay, this shows the turn order. This is a turn-based game. You actually will switch perspectives of like different characters. So I think the way I'm going to run through this is to kind of give each of my characters their own personality and the way they answer questions and solve quests and stuff. We'll figure that out as we go. Movement is blue. The yellow ones use up willpower. That's all it's saying here. It wants me to move there because this is a tutorial and I get no options. Click here. I can attack or I can damage armor. It wants me to kill the dude. Or maybe not. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go ahead and kill the dude. This right here is could also use willpower to do an extra point of damage, but it doesn't matter. Now it's their turn. He's coming over here to attack me. Notice this guy's huge, this guy isn't. That's because this is like a race of giants. And he's attacking someone with a lot of armor, so he didn't really do any damage. Willpower's pretty much expendable. Good enough. Swings it counterclockwise. Does a lot of damage. We'll just finish this guy off. And now it's teaching me about willpower. This over here is armor. This over here is health. Health and damage are basically equivalent.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and var slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his last. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head.
It grows a new head, y'all.
My friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Got some stretching in there. Only the sun has stopped. Chapter 1. Quality stretching. Oh yeah, that actually felt really good. You're approached by a familiar man who walks in, step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eirik, steward of Strand, I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? This guy's a scholarly looking dude, so he's gonna be pleasant. It is. The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. What did you have in mind? Scalfings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. Was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. Looks like he's gonna follow them. Down by the docks. Let me handle this. You meander through rows of open-faced houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Had, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The Scalfing's chieftain bled out about an hour ago, Had. So when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's going to try to kill you this time. They don't talk to me. Eirik needs some help here. I had a change of heart. I hope you do give us a hard time. Had sweats visibly, fumbling with some dirty trinkets on his table. Wait, just buy one of these. If everybody thinks I'm getting worked over every week, how am I supposed to know much? Just a little food money, yeah? What would Ubin do? Well, he runs around town picking up money for everybody. He's kind of like a scholarly guy. He carries a feather around everywhere. I could pay him. I could intimidate him. I could do nothing. Eric overturns his flimsy table, scattering Had's assortment of junk across the ground. Gods, Eric, laying it on a bit heavy, don't you think? What are the Scalfings? Nobleman, up by East Wall, but that was months ago last I know. Had skulks away with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until this blows over. You figure your bodyguard steps forward. Gunulf. Are we done here? Gunulf, were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? No, just bought him while you were walking around. Why? You look like a fraud. Ubin's gotta fuck with him. Better than an eggplant. Gunulf goes off to look at more stalls. Eric, that man of yours seems unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Had, but he used to be scalping. If they're licking their wounds, they've probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a mead hall. Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Nobleman is halfway up the hill towards the Great Hall. You won't miss it. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tide. I'll remind him. Ubin is very money-minded. Anyone who'd played or read The Wheel of Time would probably know who Loyal the Ogier is. That's who Ubin reminds me of. You arrive in front of what must be a nobleman. A few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? Each of these decisions, you know, you're never sure which ones have real consequences and which ones don't, but the story actually changes based on these. Let's get it over with. That's the spirit, says Valgard. Okay, here we go. Valgard boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of a table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken Scalfings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. This guy seems a little haywire, but, you know, he's zealous in his job. Can't blame him. Everyone likes the feeling of a job well done. Alright, click ready. Valgard's up first. Let's figure out what Valgard does exactly. Shield wall helps him and his ally. 3 damage per hit, so he just takes damage, doesn't... Oh, well, he's got 10 HP. No real armor break, nothing like that, okay. Get him in position to take some damage. What's this guy do? Okay, so he's more like support than anything. Gonna go ahead and get him in the back. There's Ubin. He doesn't really fight much. Not a fighter, that one. These guys are more defensive than anything. Resist, resist, resist. That shield wall, man. stone wall yet again. Right in the middle of these folk, too. I like the archers best. Open up some room for Gnolf here. 4 attacks at 1 strength or armor each. Last hit adds +1 for each adjacent ally. Okay. That actually sounds pretty darn good. Oh. That's his ability. Okay. I get it now. We'll just knock off some of your armor then. Boing! It's a lot of damage. Gotta love these folks not doing anything to this guy. Can't quite reach that far. Yeah. Go ahead and chip away at this armor. Aw, they're attacking Gnolf. That's no funner. There we go. That should take care of those guys. Aw, Gnolf's hurt bad. Go ahead and get a kill there. Trying to spread the kills out among my whole team. Go ahead and kill him off in next turn. I can try to retreat. I think that's probably my best bet. Is to just retreat. And turn. Go ahead and kill him off. Go ahead and move here and get a free kick. Boing. Yeah, that sounded good enough. Luckily, death's not permanent. That's only in fairy tales. And another kill for Ira. Promotion. We'll go ahead and retreat him. There we go. Kill. Raleigh. There we go. Make this guy a little more devastating in battle. There we go. That should be a promotion soon. That should be the end of Iric. Nope, not quite. Let you knock that armor down. Kill that guy. And now we're going into pillage mode. Boom. And this next blow should kill him. I shall leave nothing to chance, though. Iric is ready for promotion. I'm surprised Valgard isn't ready for promotion. Plus 11 renown. Yeah, buddy. There they are. Gods be damned. I've got to go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the hall's windows onto the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds. One banner I know well, Wagner. Next for your Varl kingship last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Yeah, important guests. See what I deal with all day long? Aw, things make a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? Trying to get comfortable again, guys. It's just not a very comfortable chair. What is it? If you happen to stall our guests down on the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eirik and Valgard hustle from the mead house. To his credit, Eirik tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. Wagner. A familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version tromping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old, and if there is Wagner, there must be Hakon. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jurandar demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Arvelon, in fact. I'm glad for it. Hakon motions to other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden Wolfhead emblazoned on red, the king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know Skrevner? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim. I have the distinct feeling I finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Moger? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Moger. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think? Apparently this guy's really friggin' old. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. Hey, that kind of rhymed. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall finds you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. I'm not going to talk to anyone. There's enough talking in this game. At dawn, you're awoken by a delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with a sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there just as promised, to your mild surprise. You wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner is already here. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Moger? I'm not sure how you actually say that, guys. Moger steps forward, Wagner's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. Looks like I have no choice. You follow Moger and join the others. Usually the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd. There's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. It summarized Strand well as a whole, you think. I hope I get to keep Eric. That guy seems like a pretty cool addition to the party. I didn't get to last time, but I was an asshole to him. So yeah, basically during this screen right here, you'll have different options as you travel, but you have rations and stuff that you have to make sure you're always having food. You ever play Oregon Trail as a kid? It's really very similar to that in a lot of ways. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Moger, cracking open mead casks. From our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout camp. I always went with a more conservative approach here. Let's go to toast to Wagner. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between man and Varl. The others join in. Ludin's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually, you sit down beside Wagner. I am going to drink merrily. It's not often you get the chance to relax on the road. The odds of something happening to the treasure cart is low, especially in this company, so you take advantage. See what happens. You rise groggily, the campsite a casualty of merriment. Moger is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Ludin stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge Wagner. You're needed. Ah, it's Ludin. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Wagner releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? Ha! We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. The map is actually really super detailed. You could get lost in it. You really could. It's a map, but you could get lost. Never find your way out. See, you click here, it has all the stories. Has all the story for the region, for the specific area, for the entire country, for the island, for the lake. It doesn't really matter. They have everything. We head north, then east, past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. You should have a drink last night, Ludin. Why not take the ships to Skimmerstead? What's the point of marching? The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skyrim. Skrymirstead. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge, Prince. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Ludin exhales through the nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the antil, Wagner. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off to. Ludin's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Another half day to Winterfell if we're lucky. Alright. So this is the place where I get to upgrade my folks and stuff. Click the hero's tent. Still in part of the tutorial, unfortunately. Okay, so I didn't get to keep Eirik, unfortunately. Alright. Click on ability to learn about abilities. Okay. Click Oh no, that was Eric who got a kill. Alright, so none of my guys are actually ready to be promoted. Whippy! 4 days until he's healed. Heroes training rest. We'll sleep for 2 days. That'll give him at least some ability to recuperate.
Weatherfell. Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
By a Hotterborg, that's a lot of varl for some missing cattle. A couple days back, sent word to Strand about the cattle. Didn't expect an army. He looks pleased with himself until it sinks in that you aren't here on his behalf. Where have your cattle gone? Wouldn't know, my boy. Seen men up the hills carrying them away. Don't know many men who can hoist a whole cow by himself. That would be funny. Scalfings out here, maybe? Could they have varl working for them? Not from what the governor told me. I'm going to take a look around and get camp set up. The peasant spits, his eyes anxiously darting about as the caravan sets up tents. What are you nervous about? We'll be here no more than a day. There's silver for any food you've got. For hundreds of varl? Are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. You thinking of squatting? Not enough room for a couple hunters here. Forget hundreds of... Shut up. Hear that? Where's Luden? It's faint. Sounds like fighting and something else. Hakon takes off at a run.